In your darkest day when you can't find your way, looking outside all you find is gray. Confined by the mind trapped inside the key. Just leave to what you crave with no way to escape. Look behind the mind and you will find the place inside where the sun shines. Feel it shine like a star inside your heart. Sunlight shine bright, wash away the dark. Sunlight.
Hello, and welcome to Radiant Spirit, a podcast about self-love and living your most authentic life. I am Jennifer Gibbons, and today I am joined again by my partner in shenanigans, Matt Busse.
Hello.
And we are going to be talking about dreams today, the importance of dreams, different tricks, tools, jewels in our jewelry boxes for tapping in. If you really want to do some dream work, really want to tune in and see what sort of messages might be coming through. I know for myself, this time of year, and particularly lately, my dreams have been coming through a little bit more strong and powerful than usual. And it's been a while since I've tapped in and really with intent done some dream work, but it's feeling like the season is upon us. So what a better time to talk about it and talk about different ways we can do that and tap in. So I know, Matt, you had brought up some a wonderful story the other day that really had a lot to do with protection and protecting ourselves in the dream world. And I love that. Great reminder. I know I've had a moment or two, or a couple of stories where knowing how to protect myself before tuning in and doing that dream work would have really helped me. But I live and learn. So yeah, quite a few things to talk about and share about with the dream work. And I realize now that I forgot to bring my mugwort out. I know, a while back, not too long ago, but I did some smudge videos. I know that sounds kind of dirty, but I did some smudging videos on TikTok, just talking about what I'm smudging with and why. And for dreams, I like to smudge with mugwort. So I did a quick little TikTok about it. And that particular video, I think it was the last I did in a series, and it started to become kind of a little too involved for and beyond just smudging. And so that was the inspiration behind this. This episode talking about dreams and how we tap in. So Matt, dream work. I know.
Well, should we kind of back up and talk about a definition of that, like what that means exactly? And because that can mean lots of different things to lots of different people.
That's true. Yeah, thank you. Great
When you
point.
say dream work, what do you mean by when you say dream work?
So when I think dream work, I think of setting intent to really let the messages from my dreams absorb and really sit with those messages, see if there's anything I can take out of that I can apply to my life. I know I'm also a part of a women's movement, a dream weaving, and that we all come together and focus on what our dreams are, like our living dreams. And so, this type of dream work, a little bit different. Yeah, again, stands to need a definition for sure. So for myself, it's when the dreams that come through when I'm sleeping, and I know I'm probably not alone in this. So a lot of times it'll be 2 or 3 in the morning. Maybe I just have to wake up to go pee or whatever. And those dreams are really strong in my mind. But then by the time 8 o'clock rolls around and I'm actually waking up, I couldn't tell you what that was to save my life. So and actually this was guidance from a therapist, was to, instead of going back to sleep in those moments when you wake up, where that thread of the dream is really sharp in your mind, write it down. And it might be that mid-sleep writing that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And that's what my dream journal looks like, a lot of nonsense. But I've found that when I make a practice of doing that, and then I say, give it a couple of weeks and go back and flip through that, it becomes so much more clear. And I think for myself, that's what I mean by dream work, is really challenging myself to document my dreams as they're happening. But that is a hard habit to get into.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and from my perspective, DreamWorks and dreaming, it's one way to uh, to tap into the other side, receive messages from beyond this conscious waking world. I think in the new Dune movie that came out a year or two ago, right at the start, there's this message that says dreams are messages from the deep. Like before they even move, right after the credits, before the movie starts, there's some talking in another language, and then down at the bottom, really small, it says dreams are messages from the deep. And I totally missed that the first time I saw it, but it's like just kind of thrown in there and then not explained at all, except dreams are a big part of that movie, obviously. Um, but yeah, I mean, for me personally, at this point in my life, I don't feel strongly called to do dream work. And so, I mean, we're all different. We all have different ways of connecting, different ways of receiving messages. And so, but yeah, it can be, like you say, one way to mine your subconscious for messages that it's receiving from the other side. And also just from a psychological standpoint, dreams are when we replay things in our life that our subconscious mind replays out these things in our life that it's trying to make sense of. So even if you don't believe in all the woo-woo stuff, just from a psychological standpoint, there can be benefit from recording your dreams and tracking them and studying them and seeing what kinds of repeated messages keep appearing.
Yeah, I love that term, mining the subconscious. That's exactly, yeah, that is exactly the point that I think of when, right now, for example, the last couple of weeks, my dreams have been coming through. They feel a lot stronger than than they've been for months. And in fact, we've been in this space, we've been sharing this house now for just over a year. And I feel like the entire time we've been here, I haven't had my dream journal practice really in effect. I used to have a setup in my bedroom where I just flicked on a little nightlight, and I could just roll out, like basically stay in bed and write pretty efficiently without, and wasn't disturbing anyone. So I had a pretty regular practice. And in this space, there's really no place for like a nightlight that doesn't just like blind the whole room. So although yes, I like headlamp and all of that, I have it if I feel so inspired, but I have been out of practice for a while in actually documenting and writing down my dreams as they come up. But in phases like this in my life, when I do notice that, like, oh wow, I've been having a lot of dreams lately, I don't remember them, but that's when it stands to reason, like, okay, maybe I should try and get back into this practice and just keep that journal right by my bedside. Brought one out for an example, not like anyone needs an example of what a journal looks like, but like the dream journal, we're talking about dreams, bring it out. And this one actually isn't my effective dream journal. It's a little bit different, but um, but yeah, that is something that really I've found to be a useful tool in the past. In fact, when right about the time that I started filling in for you when you were out of town and leading those meditations, you had been coming up in my dreams quite a bit. And it's interesting, especially now, being in our partnership together and flipping back through and just being like, oh yeah, we really were, it was very clear that we were on fighting for the same team. And that was coming through in my dreams. My subconscious was trying to really highlight that for me. Because, like, as we talked about, and I have to wonder sometimes, like, if I had not been tuned into that and tuned into my dreams, would I've had the courage to, I don't know, open my heart up to expand a relationship beyond just a friendship? I don't know that I would have. So super helpful and beneficial there, Um, so yeah, I mentioned smudging. Now, in this times, like when say you're at a place where, yeah, you know what, I want to dive deep. I want to see what my subconscious has to offer in the dream realm. What other tools can I use to tap in there? I like to smudge with mugwort. Mugwort is beautiful herb used for so many medicinal reasons, but burning it, smudging your space with it, specifically for tuning into the dream realm. It's tuning into your subconscious. I like to smudge my bed, my space where I sleep, with mugwort, followed by Palo Santo. Palo Santo is specific for protection. And I think like the story you had to share the other night about asking for protection in the dream realm. Yeah, really important stuff. Something I did not know about when I began tuning in and yeah, really trapping into my dreams. And it stands to reason asking for protection doesn't hurt. Yeah, in fact, well, maybe, I don't know, sharing more about the smudging. When I'm smudging with mugwort, I'm really just asking my guides to come through with any messages in the dream realm that I'm missing in the waking world. Um, and I feel like, and I've said it before, ask and you shall receive. It's a version of prayer. By burning and smudging with mugwort, I'm very much setting an intention and asking my guides to guide me in the dream realm. And again, like I said, with Palo Santo, first off, the smell of mugwort isn't as pleasant to me as Palo Santo. So when I'm going to sleep, I really want to like end on that Palo Santo note and have that sweet smell that reminds me of protection before I'm going to bed. So that is my purpose behind the order of that, and the little intention or prayer that I'm setting before I go to bed if I'm wanting to specifically tune in and do dream work. But protection wise, I don't know, do you want to maybe share that the beliefs behind yeah, well, all of it. Share what you were sharing last night, please.
Sure. Yeah. So the thing about dreams, one way to think about dreams and the dream plane is that when we go to sleep, our mind, our consciousness, our soul is free when it's not locked into our conscious awareness. Our mind, our soul, our being is free to travel to other dimensions, other planes of existence. And if you're not careful and not intentional about how you do that, you can wind up in some places that maybe aren't the best for you, or wind up in contact with entities that don't have good intentions in mind. And whether or not you believe in all this, if you pursue it and if you take certain actions, it'll affect you whether or not you believe in it. Because for me myself, so I started when I was with my meditation group. Our teacher spoke a little bit about the dream plane and the importance of setting your intention when you go to sleep tonight, about where you want to travel or not travel when you're sleeping, and so just setting your intention as you go into the dream plane about what kind of experience you want to have when your conscious mind is shut down and your unconscious mind is free to roam. At the time, my meditation teacher, she mostly recommended for us and for the program she was teaching to really set your intent on just resting during the dream plane. And that's one possibility. Maybe you don't want to have adventures in the dream plane. You just want to sleep and get rest. And that's totally a valid use of your time on the dream plane. And if that's your desire, then and when we talk about setting intent, it can be a little bit wishy-washy, but it's really just kind of when you're going to bed, have some thoughts, think about that, and set your intention, focus your being, concentrate your energy on the idea of just sleeping, just resting. Tonight I just want to sleep. I don't want to travel anywhere, don't want to receive messages. I just want to rest. And so it's just a matter of, as you're falling asleep, as you're lying there in bed waiting to fall asleep, replaying that thought in your mind a couple of times as you're going to bed. And that's how you can set your intent about what kind of experience you want to have on the dream plane. Or similarly, like you're saying, when you're getting ready for bed, smudging with mugwort, you can set the intent that you want to receive messages from your guides. And if you're doing that, you probably want to phrase that intention in some kind of way that it's in line with your best interest overall.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that you're setting intention that you're only receiving messages from guides who are bringing a positive, good or positive energy. They're gods that are beings that aren't going to try to trick you, aren't going to try to
Right.
just siphon off some of your energy, because that is a possibility in the dream plane. There are
Oh yeah.
entities out there that, and they're not necessarily evil or
No.
dark. They're just there to feed off the energy of other beings.
Right.
And
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, if you are going to, if consciously or unconsciously, if your mind is out there wandering in the dream plane, you are maybe subject to being preyed upon by these entities that are just going to feed off some of your life source. And it's not going to kill you or anything. It's not going to curse you. You're just going to wake up feeling more tired the next day. You're going to
Right.
often wake up feeling like you haven't rested from sleeping.
Exactly. Like nightmares.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
bad dreams but
Or even if you don't have memories of nightmares and bad dreams, but you just always wake up feeling really tired, really
Right.
drained. It may be that without you knowing it, your soul, your mind, your consciousness is wandering around naked in the wilderness of the dream plane and just kind of being preyed
yeah.
upon by entities that are draining your energy.
And I know we both have encounters or stories we can share to that specifically. I kind of want to just throw out there because it keeps rolling around in my brain. If you are wanting to sleep and you just want good sleeps, that's it. You're not looking to like dive into your subconscious and crack the code of whatever these messages are coming through. That is great, wonderful, particularly this time of year, hibernation season. Yes. I feel like burning just Palo Santo. If you're a person who's into smudging, I am definitely into smudging, burning some shit. That is my thing. Uh, so for that intent, and if that were the tent that I'm setting, Palo Santo, burning that over my sleeping space before bed, just asking for that protection to get those good sleeps. Yeah, that
Yeah, and similarly, when you're if all you want to do is sleep and rest, when you're falling asleep, you can repeat that intention to yourself that I just want to sleep tonight. I don't want my soul to go anywhere. I just want to sleep. I want to recover, want to restore my energy, and I want to wake up feeling refreshed.
yeah, I love that as well as like if you whether you're doing dream work or not, but saying like just a little prayer, whether it be out loud or to yourself, and asking for the guides or the spirits that are in alignment with the highest timeline or the highest
Or
timeline or
your overall good.
yeah, because there are beings that you can encounter in the dream world, and actually elsewhere as well, but particularly in the dream world when your guard is down, that like you said, they might not be evil. They might, like, that spirit may have good intent, but is it good for you? Or is it draining you? Is it, I know for myself, when that is, I've had there's one experience that stands out to me, and it was it was when I was very active with my AA family. And at that time, when I would go to bed, my practice was I had a prayer list, and I would think intently on each individual that I was praying for. And there was a particular gentleman in my group that unfortunately is no longer with us. He did lose his fight with his battle with alcoholism, but had a sibling who had passed away. And that is the last prayer I could remember. I was praying for this gentleman as I fell asleep, and ended up in conversation with his deceased sister for most of the night and couldn't sleep. And she was just, I see that now, that I was simply an open channel. And that spirit was like, oh, open channel. I am going to go ahead and get it as whatever I can through on this channel. And yeah, that threw me for a loop that particular night.
Yeah, and that's a good example, because that woman, she didn't have ill intent. She wasn't evil. She just like you said, had messages she wanted to convey to the waking world. And since you were an open channel, she was just using that channel, even though it had a somewhat negative effect on you.
Yeah, I mean,
Or just
surprised. I was very
oh,
surprised.
I thought you said you were really tired after that.
Oh yeah, I was
Okay,
exhausted,
yeah.
but I was also like exhilarated because I just had this conversation, and I was able to decipher how this person was related to this other. I was, invigorated by it for a while, but now I'm like, oh yeah, that was just really a spirit just trying to like, oh, I see an open channel, I am going to ploy for your attention in the dream world. And now I'm like, oh, I get it. Okay, okay. But at the time it was kind of exciting, but yeah, I was exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's kind of the thing about some of this dream work. It can be really exciting, especially if your soul is out there having all kinds of adventures. It can be cool and new and exciting because there's lots of magical, exciting stuff out there. The one thing that my meditation teacher used to see is, or used to say, she used to say that yeah, you can have all kinds of adventures on the dream plane, but are they really serving you? Are they, well, for us in that meditation group, well, it was a hardcore program about enlightenment, and we were trying to raise our power and all that. So I mean, for us and for her, we were on this on a definite trajectory and plan that didn't involve having fun playing around in the astral plane. So she trained us to really set our intent on ignoring those distractions and just trying to sleep so that in our waking time we could develop ourselves more and develop our practice and raise our personal power more. So I can't remember why we started talking about that.
Oh, there was something specific that your teacher had taught you about as far as asking for protection in the dream plane.
Right. Okay. Oh yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
it depends on what you want to get out of the dream. How you approach setting your intention for the dream plane depends on what you want to get out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, and so like I said, when I was studying with this meditation teacher, she was training us just to really focus on resting during the dream plane. But at one point there was a time where a lot of us were complaining, a lot of her students were all complaining about feeling drained in the morning and waking up feeling drained. And that's when the teachers told us, that's when they told us about these entities on the dream plane. And specific to us in that program, since we were all really focused on raising our personal power, which I don't know exactly what that means, but I think it was happening. But anyway, in a program like that, or something like that, where you are raising your personal power, you start your soul, your being starts shining that power out in the dream plane, and it becomes very attractive for those entities that are looking to feed off energy. So for us in this program, the remedy they recommended, because it seemed like a lot of us, we were working our programs, raising our personal power, and then getting mauled in the dream plane, and just waking up tired all the time, waking up not feeling rested. And so the remedy they recommended for that was to set a couple alarms randomly throughout the night. Set them for random times that you don't know what time they're going to go off. Your conscious mind doesn't know what time they're going to go off. And what might happen is, as those alarms randomly go off during the night, if that alarm goes off during a time when one of these entities is feeding off of you, it can help break that connection and help make you aware of it and make you notice it. And when your soul, when your mind notices that, it's easier for your mind to protect itself from that. So by bringing your conscious awareness to this act that's happening unconsciously in the dream plane, it can help break that channel, break that pattern, break that cycle. And along with that, along with setting the alarm, they recommended bringing protection into your bedroom. And that the protection they recommended was this specific Tibetan deity called Vajrapani, I believe. He's the protector of the dream plane. He's this big, scary looking warrior Buddhist entity. And so I had a picture of him hanging in my bedroom to try to protect on the dream plane. And I remember at one point, as I was doing that, setting the alarm in the middle of the night, at one point the alarm woke me up, and I had this experience, this sensation of, it was kind of like turning on a light and there's a rat in the middle of your kitchen eating some food or something. And it kind of like squealed. Like, so I had this sensation of this entity that was, I think, feeding on me, feeding on my energy. I wake up, it's like turning on the lights. It like kind of like squeals and tries to run for the corner, right? But then Vajrapani, this Buddhist deity, the protector of the dream plane, saw the thing and just kind of like smashed it. He's like this big warrior thing, and just like stepped on this thing, squished it, splattered it. And it was like, wow. And then he looked at me with these fiercely burning eyes. And I just had this sense that he wasn't doing that to help me out. Like, he wasn't my friend. He wasn't like a cuddly buddy or anything. No, it's just, he did that because that's his job. His role is to hunt out these entities and protect specifically people on this specific lineage that I was a part of. And, that's his role, is to protect these students who are studying on the meditation, just trying to raise their power through meditation. And part of his job is to protect those students by squishing these little dream plane entities.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that was a really crazy experience I had with the dream plane and meditation. And so again, if you feel like you're waking up every morning drained and tired, in addition to setting your intention to just rest, it can help to bring some physical representations of protection into your sleeping space. And I mean, you can look up Vajrapani if you want, but more importantly, just Google, just do it kind of a search for things that protect you on the dream plane, or entered gods, deities, beings.
There's all sorts.
Yeah, things to protect you, and see what calls you in. Do a Google search, browse through the results, and follow your instinct, follow your what catches your eye, to figure out what's going to be the best protection for you in your particular dream space. Whether that's other deities, maybe crystals, other so yeah, there's all kinds of things, all kinds of different ways to protect yourself on the dream plane. And it's what's going to be most effective is going to be different for each of us individually.
Absolutely. Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday. And again, last minute, thank you so much for joining me here. I was like, oh, I'll have somebody else to mix it up, but no. Like, by popular demand. I love this. But this conversation we were having last night, and when you had mentioned how you used to protect yourself in the dream world when you were practicing with your meditation group, and I thought, God, what do we use for protection? Oh my gosh, I had this moment of feeling like, oh no, I'm leaving myself wide open, but then recognizing, oh, don't be silly. We're surrounded.
Yeah,
like,
just take a look at our bedroom. There's
look around.
There's no lack of protection.
Major Ganesha energy, who is definitely a protector, a mover of obstacles, but I have had Ganesha energy surrounding me, whether I was aware of it or not, for years. In fact, when I used to say my prayers, when I used to do this, I have this huge Ganesha tapestry that I like look in the eyes of as I'm falling asleep. And I still do that. So, but very much a protector. And yeah, like, of course, oh duh, there's different ways of protecting yourself. When you mention crystals, of course, my mind goes to different protecting and grounding crystals. And I'm like, well, that's not what I brought out here to share, of course, because it's like, yeah, protection, it's super important. But maybe I take that for granted, because that protection is definitely an ally, a guide that call on so regularly that I don't even think about it so much anymore. But yeah, Ganesha is my favorite protector represented in my bedroom, but I also got to give a shout out to Matcha, that the raven shapeshifter goddess is also very much one of my protectors. But yeah, that's all going to be personal and unique, and just like all of us, this like these unique starseed beams of light, everything is going to be so unique and different to us as individuals. What I did bring out to share as far as crystals for kind of what I was thinking, like, in starting this, is like, okay, if you want to dive deep and you want to do like, okay, what's my subconscious trying to tell me in this dream world? I brought out celestite, this lovely crystal, celestite, and a crystal, clear quartz crystal that I mined in Arkansas. This is awesome. These clear quartz is an amplifier of any crystal, really. So I like to put the two of these together and keep them by my bedside, along the same lines of smudging with mugwort. I'm asking for to tune in to the dream world and ask for what are these messages, and clarity with the messages coming through. So I keep these right by my dream journal. And I also take my sleepy time tincture blend before bed. I don't know if you can see on there, probably not, but in any case, lots of good stuff in here. Valerian root is the main ingredient in this that I use chamomile, hops, motherwort, and valerian root. The valerian root for me, that is the plant that helps open up the messages to the subconscious. So I like to use all of them in conjunction, the crystals, the tincture, the smudging, the works. And
Yeah, and
protection.
that tincture, that valerian root definitely makes your dreams more vivid
Mhm.
for sure. I've noticed that.
Yeah, it absolutely does. It is the dream plant. So yeah, that is the like, I don't know, balls to the wall. If I'm gonna share what I do, that is the full force way I do it, and I tap into my dreams and that journaling as those dreams are coming up, and being diligent in creating that practice, because it's hard to do. It's really hard to even turn on a little nightlight at 2 a.m. or whatever weird time it is that those dreams come through. Uh, it's a hard habit to get into, but there are so many wonderful benefits to it. So I know, like the therapist that I was working with that gave me a lot of these tips and helped me evolve this practice. I know that that is part of her thing. If you are going to see her as a therapist, you need to be keeping a dream journal. That is, she is very adamant that that is where we get a lot of powerful messages, and it certainly is rang true for me.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back into my practice and diving in. So be prepared for middle of the night lights. Yeah. I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to share on this topic, or
Uh, yeah, nothing's coming to mind.
yeah, I feel like I've talked about the tools and we've shared our experiences with that. Uh, yeah, so
Yeah,
I
so
guess,
Dreamwork, yeah, it's a real thing for sure, and it can be whatever you need it to be.
yeah,
But uh, I will say if you're the kind of person, if you're listening to this podcast, if you're part of the wave of conscious awakening that which is spreading across the world right now, you at least need to be aware of the dream plane and dream work, and whether or not you're conscious, whether or not you feel called to choose to mine that resource, if you feel called to want to get more messages from dreams, or whether or not you just want to sleep, as we're becoming more awake, as our souls are waking up and we're all becoming more aware and more exposed to the realities of other dimensions, other planes of existence, dreams are going to be something you need to pay attention to, whether or not you, like I said, whether or not you want to do a lot of dream work and try to get messages in there, or if you just want to protect yourself and sleep. Well, you're going to have to put some kind of conscious intention into it one way or another. Otherwise, you're probably going to wind up um, being drained a lot on
yeah,
the dream plane.
yeah, absolutely. And I feel like it stands to, or I should point out that these things are like everything in life, and they go through phases. I find
Yeah,
for myself, it's
definitely. Yeah.
I haven't really dove deep and done the dream work much beyond like, you know, setting my intent for a good night's rest. Beyond that, I kind of let that fizzle out for a while, but I'm starting to feel it amp up, be like, oh, okay, something's amping up. I think my subconscious may be trying to tell me something. It's time to dive in. And yeah, that'll last for a little bit. I like to do everything in moon cycles. That is my jam. So for me, I try to do it like, say, today being the new moon. Oh my God, new moon, Sagittarius, I love it. But being the new moon, this for me would be a perfect time to be like, okay, I'm gonna go new moon to new moon, and yeah, see what comes up for this cycle, and then give myself a rest. Yeah, but
Yeah.
whatever feels right to you is right. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen to your own intuition, listen to your own internal guidance about what is the best way for you individually to approach the dream plane.
Yeah. Yeah. And I hope these little tips and tools, these little jewels in our jewelry boxes, bling bling, can help. Yeah,
Yeah.
right on. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for joining me again today, babe.
My pleasure.
Right on. Let's close this out with some more MC Yogi. This is Sunlight from the Pilgrimage album. MC Yogi. Wrapping it up.
In your darkest day when you can't find your way, looking outside all you find is gray. Confined by the mind trapped inside the key. Just leave to what you crave with no way to escape. Look behind the mind and you will find the place inside where the sun shines. Feel it shine like a star inside your heart. Sunlight shine bright, wash away the dark. Sunlight, wash away the night. Sunlight, 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 wash away the night. We don't need to chase the shadow, don't need to wrestle, don't need to battle. Wherever we go, it'll always follow. Go to bed, dream at night, rise up tomorrow. Just let it all go, let yourself be hollow. Empty every drop out of the bottle. When you let it all go, that's when you'll know. Sunlight shine bright, light up the temple. Sunlight, sunlight shine bright, light up the temple. Sunlight, light up the temple. Sunlight, light up the temple. Sunlight, light up the temple. Sunlight shine bright, light up the temple. Sunlight, 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 one light. Lost in the love, couldn't find my way home. Trying to find a place where I belong. That's when I closed my eyes and heard you say, everything is gonna be okay. 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 You don't have to be afraid. Pull back the curtains, open up the shade. Let the sun shine down on your face. Sunlight shine bright, watch the pain away. Sunlight, watch the pain away. Sunlight, watch the pain away. Sunlight, watch the pain away. Sunlight shine bright, watch the pain away. Sunlight, it's a brand new day. Sunlight, it's a brand new day. Sunlight, it's a brand new day. Sunlight shine bright, one light, one light, one light. Put your lighter in the sky. One light, shine bright, one light, shine bright, one light. Light up the night. One light, light up your life. 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 One light. This light, my friend, has no end. Rise up and shine again.